I realized that the excitement of a demonstration also contained the element of danger, but it wasn't enough to scare me not to go on a demonstration. I was very frustrated seeing a lot of discrimination, racism, and favoritism, and nepotism, and all of that. And at the time that I went to Dunbar High School, we had to accept the books from the other white schools that had pages torn out of them, had writings and graffiti in it.
I remember when Brown versus Board of Education was handed down on requiring that schools not be segregated anymore. And I was watching the news and paying attention to what was going on, and I decided to join the civil rights movement.
I became engrossed in the conversations and seeing the dedication of white, black, Jewish, and everyone was getting along, and I could see that they were all friends and had, really been through some things together because there was a bond between all of them.
I've been sent to work with CORE. It was much easier for SNCC to pass the word that we're having a demonstration on Route 40 than it was for CORE, because then the students would come out.
We would run off enough flyers, and we would start and visit every church, grocery store, beauty shop, barber shop, pool room. Anywhere there were people, they would take the flyers and try to get them involved in the demonstrations.
There were a lot of segregated restaurants on the roads and in Baltimore and in Annapolis. And so a plan was made that on a single day, we'd have lots of people coming in who would go to lots of restaurants and sit in to try to, change their practices. And that's when I went. That was on November 11th, 1961. And that's when I went down to Baltimore to the church where everybody was told to gather.
Everyone was trained in nonviolence. It's hard to teach anybody to turn the other cheek.
We practiced falling on the floor and assuming the fetal position with the arms over the face and knees pulled up, and being nonviolent, that we weren't going to fight back at all, no matter what was said to us or done to us. I knew there was going to be demonstrations that day, and those of us who chose to could be arrested. And a group of us drove down. I was prepared to be arrested, and so were others in the group. We were taken to restaurant might be a lofty title. It's more like a coffee shop or a diner type place. We went in, and they asked us to leave. And we were arrested in Annapolis, Maryland, and that's the jail we served time in.
We were on a demonstration every weekend, usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sometimes.
So we had busloads of students coming up and down the road every weekend, closing down the restaurants, closing down the motels, just going and sitting in and closing them down if they wouldn't accept it. And finally, they came in for negotiations.
The goal of the sit-ins was to make the system unworkable if possible, system of segregation unworkable. The Civil Rights Act was passed.
Let us lay aside irrelevant differences and make our nation whole.
And I think a lot of white folks said, oh good, problem solved.
There's warm applause from members of both parties.
When the uprisings of last year and year before last, I couldn't believe it. I used to sit at the television and I say, I can't believe that it's taken this long for another group to come out against all of this. I felt that somehow maybe we did not make a connection with the younger generation enough to have a ready army of participants seeking the same thing that we were. Being here at the Double T Diner today, this is the first time I've been in here since the demonstrations. Being very comfortable here, I can't see why I shouldn't have been comfortable here those many years ago.
You know, I knew it would take a long time, but I felt that if each person does their part, it makes the world a little better.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest news.